everyone, and welcome to the Season 2 finale of Sportsballin. I'm Dylan Simmons, joined by Evan Snyder and Ryan Martinelich. Let's get the best finale of November underway. You heard me, Walking Dead. Lambeau Field was turned into Lampoon Field on Thursday Night Football, as the Tennessee Titans marched into Green Bay and cut the cheese all over the Packers 27-17. Ryan, do you equate this more to the Packers' bad play or the Titans' exceptional performance?
No offense, Dylan. I think it's a combination of both. Look, I think the Packers just had a bad day defensively, and I like to go back to my hot take a couple weeks ago that Titans fans need to not panic about Ryan Tannehill right now because 333 yards, 2 touchdowns, looking pretty good right now, especially with the ground game that's kind of slacked the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, definitely. Ryan Tannehill was on one this week. Derrick Henry, like Ryan just said, was quiet. Had 28 carries, only for 87 yards, but he did rush for a touchdown.
He did.
So that's really good to get the production out of him. We also look at Treylon Burks.
Yeah.
He had eight targets, 7 catches for 111 yards. So he really popped off this week. And again, if the Titans receivers can pop off and have consistent games like this, you also look at Austin Hooper, who caught 2 of Ryan Tannehill's touchdowns.
Right.
Also, too, the Packers, maybe they did have some lackluster play. Their defense has been struggling recently. And I do want to throw it back to last week where Dylan did pick the Packers to win over the Titans. And all I got to say is, I told you so.
I'm about to have the courage to face the music that I myself created, and I've had to eat some crow before. I'm eating some huge crow on this one because the Titans absolutely embarrassed Green Bay on their home field. They are about as dead right now as the Walking Dead zombies were on the season finale. What I saw on Thursday Night Football was the unequivocal end of an era. To me, it's the slamming shot, and it's emblematic of everything that's wrong with the Green Bay Packers. And I'm going to talk about this personally because I'm a Packers fan, as you guys well know. Aaron Rodgers was as cooked as a Thanksgiving turkey. He was overthrowing guys. He was missing guys all over the field. The running game had 53 total rushing yards with 2 of the best running backs in the NFL. You can't get anything going with that backfield. Are you kidding me? Ryan Tannehill, who I've criticized week after week after week, threw 333 yards on Thursday night.
Don't go after the Ryans.
You're
You're
letting Ryan Tannehill do that to you. I mean, for gosh sakes, Derrick Henry didn't even get to 100 yards, and we still got steamrolled. It's just so disappointing. And I've said it time after time after time, but this team, they're just not going anywhere. But I'm going to give credit to Tennessee because they've earned it. They look like a legit opponent, and I'm finally going to give them the respect that they're due because they very well, if they play like that, if they play like they did on Thursday Night Football, they could be an AFC contender, maybe even a Super Bowl contender. I'll give them a little bit credit.
Super Bowl contenders pushing it a little bit,
maybe,
but definitely maybe have a chance.
Things are wide open this year, though.
Yeah, sure they are, but Super Bowl, I don't think that's feasible.
We'll find out for the future. The Nashville Predators got electrified worse than a power plant against the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Preds would keep things close with goals from Nino Niederreiter and Philip Forsberg, but would ultimately fall in OT. Guys, is this loss a cause for concern?
Not necessarily. I mean, once again, they are finally starting to find their footing offensively, all right? They're not giving up 5-6 goals every night. They were on a 3-game win streak there, and they took the Lightning to overtime, a consistent playoff contender. All right, so they gave up that power play, and I think they're still spending a little too much time in the penalty box, but, offensively, they look much sharper than they did in the previous weeks. So I think this is just a one-time thing. No need to be worried about it. There's still plenty of time this season left to go. You're still looking at right now just sitting at 500. So I think it's okay. No cause for concern just yet.
Yeah, I have to fully agree with Ryan on this one because the Lightning, they're consistently making the Eastern Conference Championship. They've been in the Stanley Cup, I believe, 3 out of the past 10 years.
Past 3 years.
3 years, yeah. All 3 years they've actually made it. Apologies, but this Lightning team is really good. I mean, I think they're the 3rd in their conference at the moment, or the division. And there's a lot of huge upsides. The power play unit for the Predators looked really good. That's the goal that Phil Forsberg scored. It was on power play. But the power play kill unit has to be better for the Predators. Like Ryan said, they have to stay out of the penalty box more often because the overtime win was basically handed to the Lightning due to a penalty and the Lightning getting on power play in overtime, which it's already 3v3. They get the man advantage, so it makes it 4v3. And it's really, really tough. Even in this loss, too, UC Saros had some amazing saves.
He did.
I mean, you're talking rebounds that a lot of guys should be scoring off of, but UC Saros completely shut it down. And I just honestly think just that overtime penalty just really killed the Predators on this one.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. The overtime penalty definitely was a huge setback here. To me, the Preds are the epitome of mediocrity, though, in that we can't find any consistency with these guys. I mean, Nino and Forsberg both made some great plays, both got goals. That's huge for them. I think the biggest thing, like you mentioned, overtime, really in the clutch, they're not playing as well as they should right now. Part of that problem, I think, also has to do with the fact that Saros has given up some goals late in games, and I don't blame this loss entirely on him, but at some point you got to start thinking, all right, we got to make these clutch saves in these clutch moments.
Right,
I think he'll get better at that. But again, when you're playing Kucherov, Braden Point, Vasilevsky out there with Tampa, it's going to be hard to beat those guys. They know how to win. They've got the experience. They've got the unit and the chemistry, too. Those guys have been together for a long time. So I think that the positivity is the right way to go because, to me, this team still has a lot of upside, and it's going to be curious to see if they can stick with that in the future. But I do like the Preds in this one, even though they ended up taking the loss.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more there. I think, once again, there's still so much time left in the season. There's only 18 games through it, so no need to hit the panic button if you're a Preds fan. So I think we're okay.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's huge plus side to this loss. I mean, the Preds really showed that they can compete with teams that are better than them. And again, like Ryan said, it's still early in the season, so there's a lot of stuff to still work on. There's a lot of things to improve on. I think also, too, with the Preds keep playing a physical game. You look at, they had, I believe, 35 total hits.
Yeah. Yes.
And the Lightning only had about 20, 25. So I definitely think if the Predators can stay on getting more hits, playing physical, but also at the same time staying disciplined and staying out of that penalty box, they can compete with teams much, much better than them.
I think that they will be able to figure that out, especially as the year goes on. Sometimes it takes a while to really figure out what kind of team you are. I think that they will as this year progresses. But they must have brought Opryland back because the Nashville fan base for both these teams is on a real roller coaster right now. When we come back, we will have the Grizzlies looking to claw at their latest NBA competitors. Stay tuned right here on Sportsballin.
America, welcome home the brave. The brave men and women who serve their country are coming home. Home to their cities and towns. Home to their mountains and valleys. Home to their families and friends. Home to America. Some of these warriors are coming home with wounds you can see, and some with wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Wounded Warrior Project was created to provide the support these wounded veterans need to ensure their return to America is well-adjusted and successful. But we need your help to ensure that our mission is a success. Help us honor and empower these wounded warriors. Contact us at findwwp.org. America, welcome home the brave.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, pet them, care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can bring them with you wherever you go. You can jump, yell, hide and go seek, play dress up, or not. Go for a walk, or not. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that. But you can adopt one. 'Cause we're connected. We're connected.
From Iraq and Afghanistan, our brave warriors are coming home, wounded. Some with wounds you can see, some with wounds you can't see. Wounded Warrior Project was created to support our men and women coming off the battlefield. Please help carry these warriors the rest of the way home. Get involved at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Welcome back. The Grizzlies fan base was as chaotic as a Black Friday Walmart this past week, and it all started against the Oklahoma City Thunder on Friday. Jaren Jackson Jr. had a breakout performance by leading the team with 24 points and receiving great wingmen in the rest of the Memphis bench. Ryan, what did you see in Memphis in this one?
Well, you know, in a game where, you know, John Morant and Dillon Brooks just absolutely struggled, you know, combining for 11 for 30 from the field, you know, really weren't getting to the basket. You really saw some of the more reserve players really show up, like Santi Aldama, you know, off the bench had 15 points. You know, John Conker, you know, 19 points and was able to get 10 rebounds. All right, so really a physical, you know, B team really kind of showing up, you know, these A+ squads, especially in a night where you want your floor general to show out and show up, and he kind of didn't this game.
Yeah, no, I mean, this was, if you look at it, was an overall team win for the Grizzlies. I think, honestly, if John Conker, Jaren Jackson Jr. doesn't step up, and just that entire bench and that whole second squad, I think, honestly, the Grizzlies lose this game against the Thunder because, I mean, it's still kind of a close game. Sure, they did win 121 to 110, but, I mean, if Jaw's going off, Dillon Brooks is going off, they blow this Thunder team out of the water. So you definitely look at it. Definitely an off night for Ja.
Yes.
Sure, he still dropped 19 points, still had somewhat of offensive production. But honestly, if the whole team doesn't step up, the Grizzlies lose this matchup.
Well, and half of Ja's points really just kind of came from the free throw line. I mean, that was the only thing that really saved them, is him able to get to the free throw line along with the entire team. I mean, a lot of those points just came from free throws in general. So
100% though, and I think we also got to go back to Jaren Jackson Jr. The guy had an absolutely dominant performance. Breakout night, 24 points on the night in this one. He performed and made, and really the whole bench, like you said, they performed like $1 million out there, playing some great basketball. John Conker, I mean, I was talking with Evan during the break. I didn't even know who this guy was.
Me either.
And he goes out there and puts up 19 points, ties Ja Morant in scoring. And like you said, Ja Morant, he didn't have the best night. I do think that might be chalked up a little bit to his undiagnosed injury at the time, which we'll come to in a little bit, but I think that it comes down to that. And again, they were without Desmond Bane on this night, which I think also hindered them a little bit. But this showed that Dillon Brooks, he had an incredible night also, really showing that he can be that number 2 guy if Bane is out, if Ja needs somebody, which, hey, you never know what's going to happen in the playoffs, so you need guys like that to step up. I think that really leads into it and showed what they can do in given moments. But that also leads into this. In news that shook everything from Beale Street to the Mississippi River, it was announced that Ja Morant has a grade 1 ankle sprain. His lack of presence was felt against the Brooklyn Nets, as Memphis could not match the scoring output by losing 127 to 115 to the Nets. Fellas, how rough could things get for Memphis without their superstar?
You know, we've already seen this in previous games where, you know, him and Bane didn't play or one or the other was out. So we've already got a taste of what it's like for a game or two to show up without Ja Morant, but it really does kind of show you just how much of an impact he plays, which is also kind of an issue if you're really relying heavily on one player to do the job.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what this Grizzlies team is better on. It's better on Desmond Bane, Ja Morant, and Dillon Brooks a little bit. I mean, without Ja, really, you're losing a lot of your scoring potential, and I think, honestly, if they have Ja, they do really, really well. But I mean, Dillon Brooks did put in some good work, 31 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He did also 4 steals as well. But again, with Ja, they win this game, but you also got to look at, too, sure, it's only a grade 1 ankle sprain he is suffering from, but I mean, ankles take a long time to heal, or any sprain for the most part takes a long time to heal, no matter what the grade is. And so we might see Ja back on the court, but he might not be 100%, and that could definitely hinder this Grizzlies offense a lot.
Yeah, I think I got to say, I'm going to keep this short, but really Ja to me is the heart and soul of Memphis. When he's not on the court, when he's not playing on the hardwood, it hurts the team overall. They're just not the same team without him, and they look more like a 6 seed rather than a 1 or a 2 seed. And if they can't fix this quickly and can't figure out how to win without him, they're going to spill all the beverages over the Thanksgiving table. So they're going to have to figure this out, and quickly. Memphis might need to go back into hibernation these next few weeks if things don't change. When we come back, we have your season finale hot takes with more burns than Anakin Skywalker on Mustafar. Don't go anywhere on Sportsballin.
To pose, now shush. She makes the sound she makes to calm me down. She makes the sound she makes me.
I'm here. Can you see me? Because I feel like I'm invisible. Like this whole place is invisible. If it weren't for the nightly news, no one would even think of this place. But down here, things look different. Down here, our spirits are bright and our dreams are vivid. And if given a chance, that's what the world would see.
In the past 50 years, we've made a lot of progress in smoking prevention. But if we don't do more, 1 out of every 13 children alive today will die early from smoking. That's 5.6 million precious lives we can save. Together, we can make the next generation tobacco-free.
As Vegeta would say, it's time for the final flash with our Season 2 finale hot takes. Ryan, what do you have?
First off, I just want to go back to that Vegeta thing, whatever the heck I don't know what that is, but that's funny. No, I think first off, Thanksgiving games are just boring. At this point, to me, I don't enjoy eating my turkey and watching football. They're just not entertaining enough to me. It's the same couple of teams. I really do not care that people think that the Cowboys are America's team. To me, they're not. All right, they're one of the worst teams to watch, especially the last couple of years. I do not care to wake up to watch the Lions as I'm cooking my sweet potato pie, okay? I really just do not like watching football on Thanksgiving, especially if it's not college football, all right? The Egg Bowl is more entertaining than whatever you have the Lions playing. I'm sorry.
Ooh, first of all, sweet potato pie?
Absolutely.
Sweet potato pie.
Sweet potato pie.
I'm not a big pie guy, but
Damn.
no. But I am going to quote one of my favorite shows of all time, not verbatim, but Letterkenny. They have a saying where you don't mess with tradition, and this is one of those traditional things. Sure, you have the Lions and Cowboys playing every year during Thanksgiving. Lions haven't been a good team in the last 10 years or so.
That's an understatement.
But I mean, you can't mess with tradition. You know, nothing better than filling up that plate and sitting in front of and watching 2 mediocre teams duke it out on Thanksgiving. You can't beat that.
I'll say this about it, and I think Ryan's got onto something. I'll say this. I want Dallas to stay on Thanksgiving because it is hilarious to watch them every year blow a game on Thanksgiving. The last 2 years have just been absolutely icing on the cake. I mean, you're talking about the game they blew to the Washington Commanders for the NFC East. Then last year, the loss to the Raiders was hilarious. But I agree, no one should be subjected to watching the Detroit Lions on any given Sunday, or in this case, a Thursday. But I'm looking at this year's lineup. We got Patriots-Vikings, Cowboys-Eagles, even Bills-Lions. All these games have something interesting going on. But I do think that Lions right now, I mean, to me, I'd rather listen to a Le'Veon Bell rap album than have to deal with this sort of thing. I mean, gosh, we need the Lions off of Thanksgiving. I agree with that.
All right.
But let's go ahead. Evan, what's your hot take?
I will say real quick, nothing beats better, though, than having some cheesecake and watching the Cowboys lose. But anyway, I'm throwing it to the Call of Duty League. It starts here in a couple weeks. And my hot take is Atlanta FaZe will not win a single event all year. There's 6 events in total. You have 5 majors and Call of Duty champs at the end. Sure, they did make grand finals, which you see here in the highlights of last season, but did lose the Los Angeles Thieves in that best of 9. And also, too, you look at the lineup. You have BZ, Celium, and they replace R-Cities with Slasher to fill that main AR role. I just think you're losing a lot of firepower, but you also got to think maybe this team just didn't mesh together very well with R-Cities being there, who did end up leaving and go to Los Angeles Guerrillas. I just think Slasher is not a great pick. You could have picked a lot of other main ARs that are on the free agent market to replace R-Cities, and this is not it. Also, too, you got to look at the CDL this year. It is stacked. You have Optic Texas, who's always a surefire favorite. You have Los Angeles Thieves, who's a favorite. You have Minnesota Rocker, and you have a lot of also sleeper teams in the subliners, and also Guerrillas even this year too that could potentially shock the CDL.
Right.
I genuinely have no idea what to say. I mean, I don't pay attention to this. I love playing Call of Duty. Don't get me wrong. You said so many words in order that that you could have said them in any other order and they wouldn't have made sense to me. Like they could have jumbled them up and I would have said, yeah, okay, sure, Guerrillas, absolutely. I will say this about Atlanta FaZe. I don't know who they are. I don't know who you are. I'm sorry. But this is an entertaining hot take. I love it. I will say that I am rooting for Atlanta FaZe now that Evan is saying they will not win one. I will not watch it though, but I will be rooting for you.
That hurts me as an Optic fan.
Here's what I'm going to say about Atlanta. You're saying they're not going to win a single major, and I've got to agree with this because I did some research. I like the originality, and I did some research on them. And now they've got some real dominance. They've been a dominant team in years past. They've been Michael Jordan Bulls dominant. But here's the thing. They have been second 3 times this year, as you mentioned, in the majors. Now, they are the defending Call of Duty champions, as you've mentioned.
Los Angeles Thieves is, but.
The Thieves are, yeah. Sorry. I'm not well versed in the esports world. I'm sorry.
So who's the Isaiah Thomas in Detroit Pistons in this? If we're bringing up MJ,
I guess the team I'm actually going to pick to win this, which is going to be the Seattle Surge. I like them so far. Yeah, I'm picking Seattle in a bit of an upset pick here.
That's an out of left field pick.
I mean, it is. But
it is possible. I like
Surge
their
is
upside.
Possible. They won a major this year.
True,
right?
they did win a major. Also, Pred, that dude can fry. And he's the only Australian in the league. So honestly, I do hope Surge does win an event. I do got to agree with you on that one.
It's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out. But that's going to lead into mine, which is going to be that the NFL overtime, it's got to be changed, guys. It must be changed. This overtime cannot last. And I've said it years and years here. Let's go over the rules real quick. We've got 15 minutes until winner decided. This is the postseason. Touchdown or safety on the first possession wins the game. I mean, there's a fundamental issue with the NFL overtime. And it's this. I'm bringing this to the forefront because it's the season finale and this message must be heard before the playoffs. Now, to me, this rule is as trash as a landful full of Bears jerseys. It cannot keep going on. The fact that a team can score a touchdown and win the game without the other team not even having an opportunity, how unfair is that? And I'm speaking from experience. I'm a Packers fan. I have been jettisoned by this rule before. It's hurt me in the past. But I mean, you're looking at a lot of these games, and these teams don't even get an opportunity. Denver didn't get a chance, albeit they have an awful offense, but they didn't get a chance to score and win this game. It burned Patrick Mahomes in the AFC title game in 2018 to cost them the victory. That hurts. The fact that a coin toss decides it, it's just a bad thing. It's just a bad thing. And in an offensive game where offenses are going off, it matters a lot more. Here's my suggestion. Here's what I would pick. To me, this has to be changed for the betterment of the league, and here's what we're going to do. If we're going to go full 15 minutes of the period. If it's still tied after that 15 minutes is over, we're going to make it college overtime. Start at the 25 and just score them out from there on, see who wins the game. None of this two-point conversion like what college does. But too many people benefit from this rule, Tom Brady, and it ends up working in the end. But what do you guys think of that?
I kind of agree with you in the sense that the college overtime rules are better than the NFL. I think the entire college game is better than the NFL, in my personal opinion.
Fair enough.
But no, I agree. I think, having the opportunity to answer a touchdown should be allowed. All right, it should not just end on one score. It should not be that kind of sudden death attitude, especially in a football game like the NFL, and especially in the playoffs. I think both teams need the opportunity to respond to a touchdown. I don't know about reverting to just straight 25-yard and in from the second period, from the second overtime and on. I think either just start at the 25 in both overtime periods or all the overtime periods and just go from there, or just have it, as a straight, 5 or 10 minute overtime periods and just keep going and going and going. I think breaking up like that takes away from the game.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think the team that starts on defense should have opportunity to actually score a touchdown of their own because, it's kind of a little unfair to, one team could just win the coin toss, go out and score a touchdown.
It shouldn't end like that.
It shouldn't end like that. Make it more exciting. I mean, you look at the MLB changing their overtime rule, which is also garbage in my opinion, having a runner already on second base.
Yes,
but they should change that as well. That's another hot take for another time. But I definitely think the team that's on defense first should definitely have a chance to rebuttal.
100%. I think that this just has to be changed. It must be changed. NFL, I'm calling you out. You better change this and now, or this is going to come back to bite them one day. You'll see. Somehow it will. We're going to get a division winner with a tie, and it's going to be bad.
You might lose a beloved Packers fan.
Yeah. You've been put on notice, guys. All right, place your bets and get ready to answer the Jeopardy questions because we have your picks of the week after the break. Don't go anywhere.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Sports Ballin'. It's time for our picks of the week. First up, we've got Preds versus Coyotes starting tonight at 7, already in progress. Ryan, who are you thinking?
Well, right now, in progress, like you said, it is 1-1, so might as well just be starting at 0-0.
Yes.
I think if the Preds can just somehow can control their side of the zone, all right, and not lean into the penalty box, right? Stay out of the penalty box. They have a chance. They should beat the Coyotes. So I'm going to go with Preds so long as they don't get any more penalties.
All right.
Should beat the Coyotes.
Keyword.
But the Coyotes are in a power play right now, and I hope the Preds win. I'm going Preds, but if they lose, I'm going back being a Panthers fan.
Preds, if you lose this game, you might as well delete the season because, gosh, the Coyotes, you can't lose to it. They have a 5,000-seat stadium. They play in a college stadium, for gosh sakes.
Arena.
I mean, yeah, they should take care of business. I think they will. They should beat Arizona pretty easily. I'm going to take the Preds in this one. Next up, we've got Grizzlies versus Kings Tuesday at 7. What are you thinking?
Once again, we're expecting Morant to be out, like it's looking.
Right.
All right, you're down one of your pieces, right? You're down
your biggest
a cog in the machine.
Yes.
All right.
Huge cog.
Yeah. So if you're down an offensive weapon, down a floor general, you're going to really have to rely on someone like Conker to step up. All right, or Jones, your backup point guard. All right. That being said, the Kings are kind of struggling once again, so I'm going to have to go with the Grizzlies here.
I'm going Conker drops a triple-double. Grizzlies take the win.
I'm actually going to take the Kings in this one. I really do think that they've got a lot of promise right now. I mean, you're talking about a team that's won several games already this season, really showing some promise, and I don't like where Memphis is going right now. So next up, we got Titans versus Bengals, Sunday at 12. Guys, wrap it up.
Give me Tannehill for 303 TDs. Let's go Titans.
All right.
Joe Shiesty's going to ball out Bengals.
I'm taking Tennessee. I think the Titans do take this down. Cincinnati too inconsistent. Well, thank you guys for taking another ride with us for Season 2 of Sports Ballin'. We hope that all of you enjoyed it as much as we did bringing it to you. For all of our awesome production staff, our director Houston Chapman, and my two incredible co-hosts Evan Snyder and Ryan Martinelich, this is Dylan Simmons saying so long, and we will see you in spring 2023 for Season 3. Have an electric night.